How are we doing, everyone? Hope you're well. Mr. Bold here, and I'm back today with a video I've been thinking about doing for about a month now. I've always considered 1986 and 1990 to be the best years for thrash metal. There are, of course, other great years, but for me, 86 and 1990 are definitely the best years. So what I decided to do was to listen to all the albums that I have from 1986 and 1990 that are thrash metal, listen to them all, and then sort of think to myself at the end of the day, which is the strongest year of the two. So I'm not going to talk about the albums for too long because there's quite a bit to show, and I don't want this video to go on forever. So I'm going to have a quick cold drink because it's very warm here in the UK at the moment. Mostly vinyl, only 3 CDs to show, so I'm going to show the CDs first. We're going to start off over in America. And here's Dark Angels, Darkness Descends, which is an album that's definitely grown on me. When I first heard this, I wasn't too keen on it, but the more I've listened to it, I enjoy it more. Very raw sound on this album, raw production. Gene Hogan on the drums, of course, doing a fantastic job on the drum kit. Some savage stuff on this, it's got to be said. I mean, the opening track, Darkness Descends, I love the chorus in that. The vocals are really, really good. The Burning of Sodom's a great track. Merciless Death, that's probably my favourite on the album. Really, really savage riffing in that. Perishing Flames, track 7. Pretty good album, I have to say. It's, I definitely enjoy it more than I used to. But that's the first album to talk about. Darkness Descends from Dark Angel from 1986, like all these are going to be, of course. Up next, we're going to go over to Germany, and here's Sodom's Obsessed by Cruelty, which is an okay album. It's definitely not their best, not even close to being their best, to be honest. I don't know if, when it comes to this album, maybe the reason that I'm not so keen on it is because this version I have here is the version with the snare drum mixed really loudly. I mean, whoever mixed this back in the day did a terrible job. I mean, who sits down and thinks to themselves, right, let's put everything around about number 7, apart from the snare drum. We'll mix that, you know, volume 10 and completely overpower everything else on the album. It just spoils the album. I mean, there's some places where you can just about hear the hi-hats and the snare drum is so ridiculously loud. It's just overpowering everything. However, it doesn't spoil the album totally. There are some really good moments on this. Let's have a quick look at the CD, where the track listing's at. Obsessed by Cruelty, the title track's really good. What else have we got here? False of Majesty, Town, that's a good track as well. Volcanic Slut, last track's pretty good. Witch Hammer I like. But yeah, it's definitely let down by that overpowering snare drum. A very raw sound, of course, very blackened with the vocal style, which you get in a lot of German thrash. But Sodom's Obsessed by Cruelty is it's an okay album, but it's definitely spoilt by the awful mix. Fucking terrible mix, actually, to be honest. Yeah, it's an okay album, but definitely not their best. But some German thrash I do much prefer from 1986. And here's Destructions, Eternal Devastation. Great album. Really like the vocals of this. The riffing from Mike, I think it's Siffringer, is absolutely fantastic. An underrated guitar player as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't get talked about a lot. There's some great tunes on this though. Curse of the Gods, that intro is fantastic. I love the riffs in that tune. Confound Games is a good track as well. Eternal Ban I like. But Confused Mind, the last track, is great. I just absolutely love the vocals in that track. Really, really good stuff. Definitely prefer this to Sodom's Obsessed by Cruelty. Destruction's Eternal Devastation from 86, of course. Really good album. I like that one a lot. On to the records now, and sticking with Germany. And here's Tankard's debut album. And I've forgotten the title all of a sudden. Zombie Attack. I really enjoy this one. Out of the 3 German thrash albums I've showed so far here, this is my favourite. Not taking themselves too seriously, of course. Lots of songs about beer. But some fantastic tunes on this. Like the Zombie Attack, the title track is absolutely fantastic. Mercenary, great track. Love the chorus, love the vocals, brilliant stuff. Maniac Forces, great riffs in that. Empty Tankard, great tune. Thrash Till Death is excellent as well. Poison, I really like. Good chorus, very, very catchy. Screaming Victims, last track. Great debut from Tankard here. Zombie Attack, really, really enjoy that one. That's an excellent album. Sticking with more German thrash, and here's one of those, as far as I'm concerned, they're heavy hitters. Here's Creator's Pleasure to Kill, which is just Very, very savage. Definitely got that blackened edge to it, of course. Excellent riffs and drums on this album. It's an absolutely phenomenal album. Huge, huge album as far as I'm concerned. Ripping Corpse, love the chorus. Really, really savage stuff. Pleasure to Kill, love that drum intro. Really great stuff. Right of Violence, another great chorus. Superb tune. The Pestilence is a great track. Command of the Blade is another track that's got a really catchy chorus, but really savage, angry sounding stuff. Under the Guillotine, last track. There's no bad songs on this album. It's absolutely superb as far as I'm concerned. One of the heavy hitters from '86. Germany's Pleasure to Kill is fantastic. Up next, here's Possessed and Beyond the Gates. I did think about not including this because there's always that talk about, oh, Possessed, a death metal band. For me, they're definitely a thrash band though. Definitely with sort of a death metal influenced vocals. Jeff Becerra, definitely one of the first guys to do the harsher vocals. A decent album which is spoiled by shitty production, but I still enjoy listening to it. The Heretic, I absolutely love that song. It's brilliant. Loads of great riffs in it. Tribulation, again, loads of great riffs in that. Phantasm, fantastic tune. Beyond the Gates, the title track, I really like the vocals in that. Restless Dead's a great tune as well. Yeah, it's a good album from Possessed. I do prefer it slightly over Seven Churches. But yeah, the production's a bit of a mess on it. But still had a good album from these guys. I enjoy listening to that one quite a lot. Up next is Nuclear Assault and their debut, Game Over. Great stuff here. John Connolly, one of my favourite vocalists in thrash. Very distinctive voice. Obviously much a punk edge to this album. Cold Steel and Betrayal, great tunes. I love those a lot. After the Holocaust, Nuclear War, My America, only 26 seconds long, but good stuff. Vengeance, Brain Death is the longest track on this album by a long way. I quite like that. Obviously, Danny Lilker on the bass, Glenn Evans on the drums. Was fortunate enough to see Nuclear Assault about 8 or 9 years ago at Bloodstock. Really good debut from these guys. Like I say, a definite punk influence on there as well. The drums actually from Glenn Evans are really, really good. But yeah, John Connolly's vocals, very, very distinctive. You always know when you're listening to that guy. Fantastic stuff from Nuclear Assault. On to one of the big hitters from the year. And an album that I don't really need to talk about too much. Metallica's Master of Puppets. Fantastic stuff. We all know this, of course. For me, it's their best album. Favourite tracks on this for me, definitely Disposable Heroes. Probably the best Metallica song ever. Damage Incorporated on this as well, which I absolutely love. The title track's great, a bit overplayed, but it's still great stuff. The Thing That Should Not Be, so heavy, I absolutely love that tune. Leper Messiah is excellent as well. There's loads of great tunes on it. I don't need to talk about it anymore. It's an absolutely huge album, one of my favourite albums of all time, no doubt about it. Master of Puppets from Metallica is an absolute beast. Over to the UK now, some homegrown thrash, and here's Onslaught's The Force. An absolutely massive album as far as I'm concerned. If you've not heard Onslaught, I would recommend listening to this definitely for a Slayer fan, because this is basically Slayer worship, even right down to the production. This album almost sounds like Show No Mercy. Some of Cy Keeler's high falsetto vocals from this me are a little bit laughable. When Tom Araya does them, they sound really good. They don't sound quite so good when Cy Keeler does them, but this is an album full of great riffs, fantastic drums. I mean, tunes on this, Let There Be Death, opening track, fantastic. Love the riffs. Metal Forces, great stuff. Fight with the Beast, side one is all killer stuff. No bad stuff there at all. Contract in Blood, Thrash Till the Death. It's an album that's full of great riffs. I love the sort of raw sound of the production on it. Psychede's vocals for the most part are good. Like I say, the high screams are a little bit laughable, but the drums are absolutely phenomenal on this as well. An excellent thrash metal album. Like I say, if you're into Slayer but you don't know this album, I would definitely recommend listening to it because it's pretty much Slayer worship. Onslaught's The Force is a beast of a UK thrash metal album. On to one of the big hitters now, and obviously an album that doesn't need any introduction. Here's Slayer's Rain in Blood. 26 minutes long, absolutely savage stuff. Great riffs on this album. Dave Lombardo's drums are, of course, absolutely amazing. Tom Araya's vocals are great. Angel of Death, probably one of the best opening tracks you'll hear on any album. Phenomenal stuff, piece by piece. Criminally Insane, Jesus Saves. Postmortem. Rain and Blood's not really the title track, of course, because it's not spelt the same. It's just great stuff. Epidemic's another great track as well. When those toms come in before Rain and Blood starts, it just sounds amazing. I love the riffs in that song. Iconic riffs as far as I'm concerned on this album, especially with Angel of Death. But loads of great tunes. Slayer's Rain and Blood, absolutely huge album. One more to show from '86, and another one of the big hits from the year, and is Megadeth's Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? The last albums were recorded by the original lineup. Excellent stuff. Dave Mustaine sounding really angry and pissed off like he did in all those early records. Wake Up Dead, opening track. Brilliant stuff. I absolutely love that. Devil's Island as well was a great track. Track 2, The Conjuring, great tune. Peace Sells, the title track, is amazing. Absolutely love the bass and drums intro. Dave Ellison's playing on this record is fantastic, as always. Good Morning Black Friday, Bad Omen. You've got the cover Iron Superstitious, which I don't mind, to be fair. I mean, it's easily the weakest track on the album, but it's still okay. Ends with My Last Words, which was an absolutely massive song. I love the intro guitar part in that. Of course, there's loads of great riffs and solos on this record. Gar Samuelson's drums, rest in peace, fantastic. Megadeth's Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? An absolutely huge album from 1986, no doubt about it. So that's the last of the Thrash albums to show from '86. So I'm on to 1990 now. And quite a few to show here as well. Now, some of these bands put out killer albums in both years, and we'll start off with one of those bands. And here's Tankards, The Meaning of Life. Excellent stuff. I really like this one. There's some great tunes on this. We Are Us, track 2 is superb. Dance on Your Grave, I really like. Bermuda, great tune as well. The Meaning of Life, Wheel of Rebirth, Barfly. Another great album from Tankard, some excellent thrash, great riffs as always. I enjoy the drums on that one. Good stuff. A heavy hitter from 1990, another band we saw in '86. His Seasons in the Abyss from Slayer. I prefer this slightly over Rain and Blood personally, but they're both absolutely fantastic, of course. Again, Dave Lombardo's performance is superb. The riffs from Kerry and Jeff Hanneman, rest in peace, are of course excellent. Great vocals from Tom Araya. War Assemble, another absolutely amazing opening track on this album, is absolutely superb. We've got, bloody hell, I can't remember the name all of a sudden. Dead Skin Mask, of course, that's a great tune. Spirit in Black, Hello Point, Skeletons of Society, Temptation, and Born of Fire. The absolutely huge title track, Seasons in the Abyss, which is a song I absolutely love. It's superb stuff. Another of those albums I don't really need to talk about too much because we all know it. Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss is an excellent album. And now I showed the video not too long ago. Is Death Angel in Act 3? For me, this is Death Angel going in much more of a commercial direction. There's still some thrash on there, but you've got a ballad on here, A Room with a View, which is fantastic. But the opening 2 tracks are thrashes. Seemingly Endless Time and Stop are brilliant. Veil of Deception's pretty cool as well. Falling Asleep's a decent tune. Much better than the previous album, Frolic Through the Park, which for me is not a good album at all. Not as good as their debut, of course, but Act 3 from Death Angel from 1990 is still a really good album. Enjoy it more now. I used to be like, yeah, it's okay, but I definitely enjoy it more now. Here's Anthrax, Persistence of Time, which is a good album. It's a little bit too long for me. There's a couple of tracks towards the end that are not really that good. Well, actually, that's a bit unfair. They're decent. They're just not as strong as some of the other stuff in this album. But for me, it would be a better album if I had a couple of tracks cut from the track listing. More of a serious sounding album from Anthrax, of course. They definitely had their tongue in their cheeks in their earlier days. But yeah, a bit more of a serious approach on this one. Time and Blood, the opening 2 tracks are great. Keeping the Family, really sort of quite slow for Anthrax. Great riffs in it. In My World's a great track. Belly of the Beast is another great track. Got the Time, that's the Joe Jackson cover, that's decent. One Man Stands is really good, but if you lost Hate, Red and Discharge from this album, for me it'd be better for it, but it doesn't spoil the album at all. Anthrax's Persistence of Time is a really good album. Up next, over to Denmark, and here's Artillery with Inheritance, which is an album that I've only picked up about a year ago. This is an original press, which is not hard to come by, and I paid quite a lot of money for this, but I was more than happy to because it's great stuff. Excellent vocals. I absolutely love the riffing on this record, and the guitar tone is superb as well. Drums are great. But Comania track 2 is superb. Beneath the Clay, R.I.P. Probably my favourite song on the album. Very, very catchy vocals in the chorus. Bomb Food's a great track. Don't Believe, Equal at First, Back in the Trash. Some excellent thrash here from these guys from Denmark. Artillery's by Inheritance. I'm quite new to this one, but I really like it. Great riffs, great vocals, good stuff from Artillery there. Back over to the States for an album that not only is a great album, but look at that artwork as well. That is absolutely superb. This is a great album from Demolition Hammer. This is Tortured Existence, their debut. 44 Caliber Brain Surgery, absolutely amazing opening track. Crippling Velocity is a great tune as well. Hydrophobia, Mercenary Aggression, Cataclysm. The guitars on this album sound fantastic. I love the production of it. Amazing vocals, some of my favourite vocals you'll hear at any thrash album. Demolition Hammer's Tortured Existence is an absolute beast of an album. Sounds fantastic. Amazing vocals, great riffs. Love that one a lot. Up next is Forbidden's Twisted Into Form. A lot of people really sort of talk about the debut, which is great. But for me, I've always slightly preferred this one. Only just so. Russ Anderson's vocals on this is superb. Paul Bostoff, of course, who wanted to be in Slayer on the drums. Great drums on this. Guitars, whether it's riffs or solos, are absolutely fantastic. Infinite, first proper track, superb. Out of Body, Out of Mind, one of my favourite thrash songs ever. Great chorus, very, very catchy. Step by Step, Twisted Into Form. That side A is all killer stuff. Spiral Depression, which is instrumental, is decent. Tossed Away, great tune. Love the vocals. One Foot in Hell. Russ Anderson, amazing vocalist. I'm seeing Forbidden at Bloodstock next week. Unfortunately, he's not part of the band anymore. But they're still going to be great anyway. But Twisted Into Form from Forbidden, excellent album. Really love that one a lot. Sticking with the States, and it's Sacred Reich, The American Way. A good album, but it's definitely not as good as Ignorance. There's a bit of filler on this. But the first track, Love and Hate, I really like. But the title track, The American Way, is absolutely superb. Simplistic riffs, but are very, very catchy. Great vocals. Great lyrics as well. Phil Ryan sounding really good on that one. The Way It Is good. Crimes Against Humanity I like as well. State of Emergency, great track. Who's to Blame on side B, though, is a bit of a letdown for me. And 31 Flavors is okay, but it's not as good as the stuff in the rest of the album. But the Sacred Reich, The American Way from 1990, some really good stuff on it, but there's definitely some filler on it as well, which lets it down a little, but still a good album. Back over to Germany now for another band that feature in both years. Here's Create Coma of Souls, which is a fantastic record. The production on this is absolutely amazing. The guitar work, especially the riffs, are absolutely fantastic. Venter's drums, superb. Milo Petroz's vocals, really, really good as well. This is the last thrash album they made for 11 years, because they went very experimental in the 90s, of course. But great tunes on this. Coma of Souls, the title track, is great. People Are the Lie, it's absolutely superb. That's my favourite song on the album. Love the chorus, love the vocals. It's just really catchy stuff. Agents of Brutality is a great track as well. Hidden Dictator, Mental Slavery. Forgot to mention Terror Zone, that's another great one. Just an absolutely amazing album. When I first heard this, I really enjoyed it. And the more I listened to it, the more I enjoy this album. Coma of Souls from 1990 is an absolutely amazing Creator album. Really nice to have it on vinyl at last, since it got reissued a few years ago. This is a 3 LP edition on red vinyl. Great album from Creator there, Coma of Souls. Back here to the UK, and here's Zentrix for Whose Advantage, their second album. Really, really good stuff. Not as good as Shattered Existence, but really good. Chris Hassey's vocals, fantastic. Great riffs throughout this whole album. Track 1 is great. Great chorus, very, very catchy. For Whose Advantage, love the bass intro. Really, really good stuff. The Human Condition, False Ideas. The Bitter End, New Beginnings, Desperate Remedies, Kept in the Dark, Black Embrace. For me, there are no bad songs on this album, so that tells you just how good Shattered Existence is. This isn't my favourite Zentrix album, but I absolutely love this record. Some great UK thrash, great vocals, great riffs, excellent stuff from Zentrix. Back over to the States now, and here's Exodus, Slaughter in the Vatican. Excellent album. Love the vocals from Kyle, and I can't remember his surname off the top of my head. An album that was very influential to Phil Anselmo, of course. If you've never heard Exodus, listen to this. You can see where Phil Anselmo got his vocal style from, or where it was influenced from, I should say. But Homicide, Desecrator, and Exodus on side A are all brilliant tunes. Legions of Death, title track Slaughter in the Vatican, amazing album. I love the sort of, the stripped back production on this. It sounds similar to the production on, say, albums like Testament, Souls of Black. Great stuff. Slaughter in the Vatican from Exodus, brilliant album. Really good stuff. I enjoy that one a lot. Sticking with the States, and here's Exodus, and Impact is imminent, I should say. Yeah, there's some tunes in this that I really, really love. The Lunatic Parade is my favourite on this album. I love the riffs in that. The guitar tone's fantastic. Zetcha on the vocals, my favourite Exodus vocalist. He sounds great. But Impact is imminent. Title track's really good. Objection Overruled. I love the drums in that, particularly. Only Death Decides. Changing of the Guard. Thrash Under Pressure. I used to be a little bit tough on this album, but I enjoy it more than I ever have these days. It's got that classic Exodus guitar tone that they're still using to this day. Impact is imminent is a great album from Exodus. Over to Canada now, and here's Annihilators, Never Neverland, which is an album I absolutely love. Coben Farr on the vocals. As always, Jeff Waters' guitar work is superb, whether that's riffs or solos. We've got Wayne Darley on bass, great bass player, underrated, I think. Dave Scott Davies on the guitar, Ray Hartman on the drums. This, for me, is an album that's got no bad songs on it at all. The Fun Palace, Road to Ruin, 6s and 7s, Stonewall, the title track, side A is all killer stuff. Craft Dinner on side B, a song about mac and cheese. Phantasmagoria, Reduced to Ash, I Am in Command. Excellent album, no bad songs on this at all. Absolutely love it. Annihilators, Never Neverland, superb stuff. And one last album to talk about. An absolutely huge album for me. Megadeth's Rust in Peace from 1990 is an album with no bad songs on at all. Recorded with my favourite Megadeth lineup, Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellison, Marty Friedman, and the late Nick Menza. Rest in peace. The first track, Holy Wars, is the song that made me want to play the guitar. I remember seeing the video for that on Noisy Mothers back in 1994, and it just blew me away. I'd seen it before, but when I watched that in 1994, it just absolutely floored me. Fantastic album, fantastic song. Hangar 18, track 2 is great. Take No Prisoners, I love the riffs in that. Dave's vocals are phenomenal. Five Magic, side A is all killer stuff. Poison Was the Cure, Lucretia, great track. Tornado of Souls, amazing guitar solo. Amazing solos across this whole record, to be honest. Dawn Patrol, let's be honest, is a little bit on the filler side, but I still enjoy it. Ends with Rust in Peace and Polaris. An absolutely massive album for me. I can listen to this any day of the week and I never ever get bored of it. So many great riffs. Nick Menza's performance is fantastic. The bass sounds amazing. Rust in Peace from 1990 is the final album to show in this video. Excellent stuff. I absolutely love that. So which is my favourite year here? I mean, both are very, very good years, and it's very, very hard to choose between them because we have massive albums across both years. In 1986, particularly for me, Creator's Pleasure to Kill, Megadeth's Peace Sells, Metallica's Master of Puppets, and Rain and Blood from Slayer. But 1990 also had some massive albums as well. Creator's Chroma of Souls, Megadeth's Rust in Peace, Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss. But if I'm going to have to choose one, I'm going to have to go with 1986. The big hitters in this year, like this album, Master of Puppets, Pleasure to Kill, and Rain and Blood, I just can't look past them. I mean, Sodom's Obsessed by Cruelty slightly lets this year down for me. But there's just so many great albums from 86. And albums I've gone on to appreciate more the more I've listened to them, like Dark Angels, Darkness Descends. And even though 1990 is an absolute banger of a year with stuff like Rust in Peace and Season in the Abyss on it, I've got to go with 1986. So for me, the best year for thrash metal between 1986 and 1990 is definitely 86. Both amazing years, both loads and loads of amazing albums. But I'd have to go with 86 just. So guys, there we go. That is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think is your favourite year from 1986 or 1990. And plus, if there's any thrash metal albums here that I haven't shown that I may be unaware of, feel free to drop them in the comment section as always and let me know. Very much appreciated. I won't be making a video next week because I'm going to be at Bloodstock Festival. So there'll be no video next week. What I'm going to do for the next two videos is the next video I'll rank the albums from 1986, the thrash albums, and obviously the week after I shall rank the thrash albums from 1990. So I hope you'll be looking forward to those. And as always, very much appreciate you watching, taking the time out of your days. So until then, cheers, take care, and I'll see you later.